Yo guys, Haku here with my review of this week's chapter of Tower of God. That's chapter 266, season 2, episode 186, The Dollar Show 14. And this, honestly, this was a really long sort of chapter. It really felt like we were given 2 weeks worth of content in one chapter, because I feel like the entire first part of this with the Khun stuff could have been an entire chapter on its own. The entirety of the Bomb and Joaquin stuff could have been a chapter on its own, but we got it all in 1 week. And it really is part of the big reason why I like Tower of God, because I feel like many other manga series, this would have been drug out for months, and here we get this much content just steamrolling pace. The pace is so quick in Tower of God. And it keeps going. It's so quick, and yet we still get hundreds of chapters worth. It's very exciting and enjoyable week to week for me. Now, I had heard ahead of time, because of SIU's blog from last week, that this chapter would be pretty Khun versus Rachel heavy. So I wasn't expecting at all, after the Khun and Rachel stuff, that we would get all of what we got with Bomb's group, which was a ton. We got... I can't say anything more than, like, we just got so much content. There was so much given to us all in one chapter, and it was all really good to the point where it's difficult for me to nitpick anything, and it's really hard to even, like, it's hard to review because you don't want to just say, oh, everything was great, go into why, but, like, it was just a very good chapter, and, like, it doesn't give me a ton of talking points of I like this, I didn't like this. It's just everything in general was very well done. The art was amazing. The art was like probably some of the best art I've seen in Tower of God. And I say that a lot, but I feel like SIU is constantly stepping up his game, and he really stepped it up again this chapter, because there was just so many beautiful panels. And there were a lot that looked really nice and a lot that looked very unique. Stuff that you wouldn't see from any other artist. And then also there was some stuff that I even said it in the live reaction. There were some panels that looked very anime-esque. And it looked really nice, and I thought it was a nice thing to do with the sort of lighthearted and comedic moments we had with, like, Khun joking around with Rachel and she's all serious and angry, or when Rock throughout the entire chapter, Rock throughout the entire chapter, he was really one of the most entertaining things for me, which is, as usual, Rack is one of everyone's favorite characters. He really he made it so entertaining just being in the background with his commentary. So getting into breaking this thing down, we had the coin flip to start out. We saw Khun flip the coin at the end of last week's chapter, and it just carried on from there. So the coin lands and Khun wins. It was rigged, but Khun rigged it in front of another light bearer, Rachel, and Rachel didn't even notice. None of the people watching noticed that he rigged it, so, except Rien figured it, but I don't think she actually knew for sure that he did it. So that just shows Khun is, like, he's manipulative enough with Shinsu that he can do that right in front of Rachel's face, right there in front of her, without her even noticing. So then Rachel says that she would tell Khun her and Bomb's past if he gave her another shot. And the big part about this is Rachel knows Bomb's past. There is so much that we don't know as fans. We don't know anything really about who he used to be or life before the tower or anything like that. So having her tell what happened would be amazing, and I think that it's not happening anytime soon, I don't think, but the way it was brought up there was a really good way to remind readers that there's still a lot more depth in the past, not even in the future, depth that we have to get to. Now, of course, pretty, like, predictable, Rachel wins the second round. Yeah, whatever. So Khun says, okay, let's go third round, completely impartial. We'll have Rack throw the coin. And then we get tons of comedy, funny stuff with Kun and Rak, and Rak's just like, so how do I flip it to make it land on heads? And that was a great moment. And another part I thought was hilarious was when Rachel was like, okay, that sounds cool to me, I don't think he's going to be pulling any tricks. Just, the comedy was really good this chapter. The comedy was, and comedy isn't always done in Tower of God, but it's done a medium amount. I mean, it's not really comedy heavy like some, say, One Piece or Fairy Tail, which has a lot of comedy thrown in with the serious stuff. Now, of course, the final coin flip, Kun wins, and we have the huge, brilliant, like, monologue, I guess, internal monologue from Ryu, the best girl, Ryun, and she's just talking about how, like, Kun's a genius. He rigged the first one right in front of her, and he knew even if 50-50, if she won the first one, he would still probably win the second one. And he would bet that God wouldn't give someone like Rachel good luck twice in a row. And I thought that was an amazing way to put it. It was funny, but still serious, and it really captured the Kun putting Rachel down again sort of feeling. Just Rachel and her team getting wrecked just time after time. There's like, at the end of Revolution Road, they seemed like a really serious threat, and they do have a lot of strong members. And even they killed a lot of members of Bomb's team, even in the Dollar Show and right before it. But the way Rachel herself keeps getting beat, Rachel's turning into just Team Rocket on us. She's just being like laughable villain. We have fun seeing her get wrecked by Kun every single time. So then a part that really surprised me, we cut back to Bomb and Joaquin. And I was expecting maybe cut back to them and they say something and that's where the chapter ends. But no, we got like an entire fight of Bomb and Joaquin with amazing artwork. The fight looked really nice. Especially like seeing Bomb use a weapon again. Like he's using the little knife, white heavenly mirror dagger, whatever. And it's cool because he had that little knife that he started out with in the very, very beginning of the series. And it sort of like calls back to the original Bomb. I mean, the only way it would get better is if he got Black March back. That'd be like true getting back original Bomb with the Black March. But now he has the Thorn, so having both would kind of be more OP than would be fun. So we get like little one-liners from all of Bomb's team hanging around, and that's really nice, seeing all the characters are still there, what they're thinking. And Daniel explains he and Bomb's plan to Boro, and then Akka walks up, and Akka's cool again, and he's like, oh yeah, I get the plan, let's do this, we can totally succeed if we try at this. Then we get some of the coolest looking fighting panels we've had in a long time in Tower of God, where we have Yeon come in with the awesome looking flames to distract or try to help Bomb take down Joaquin, and Joaquin just has the one panel where he just slices through all the flames, and that was probably my one of my two favorite panels from this, maybe two or three, because I did like the one earlier in the chapter where it had like the serious, really artistically done, like stylized faces of Kun and Rachel like faced off against one another when the first coin flip was landing, and that looked really nice. Then secondly, the one where Joaquin cuts the flames looks really nice. He cuts the flames, he dodges an attack from Bomb, and then when he's dodging, the Thornbush path from Sachi starts wrapping around him. He avoids that, and he's like, come on, you think people can keep up with me? And Akka appears from behind him, goes for the grab, and he just, like, miracle flash step dodges behind Akka. Then out of nowhere, Bomb comes in. Awesome sword fighting panels with Bomb and the little white heavenly mirror against the Shinsu sword that Joaquin uses. And Joaquin points out, he's like, I'm fine, but your body can't take this. You're wearing out. And Bomb is getting tired. He doesn't know what else is left to do. And Akka comes up and tells him, you know, you've been fighting so much, you're going to be tired, but you always have to remember when you're fighting to keep the next fight in mind. and he explains like his plan to just once and for all, just those two team up and they're going to take down Joaquin right here and now. So finally, they go for their final assault on Joaquin. Bomb stops him with the reverse flow control. And once he's stopped, Akka grabs him from behind. It's too late. He can't dodge it, and Akka's got him. But Joaquin is able to turn his sword around and stab it behind him to stab Akka, even if he can't get away in time. So he can't get away. He's still trapped, even though he has the stabbed Akka on his back holding him. And Bomb stabs him in the chest with the White Heavenly Mirror, which was their plan to free Vicente. And I don't know why Vicente was more likely to be freed than the others. I guess because he's like pretty like he's the one that's rebelling against Joaquin the most, and he's pretty powerful. So I guess that was their thought. But Joaquin just shrugs it off. Injured Akka falls off his back, and he's like, "Bomb, I've absorbed his soul completely. You can't handle me. I'm 80% power now. Just give me that last sibling." And part of that was my third, the final of the 3 panels that I really, really liked, and that was when Joaquin was just staring with the big crazy eyes straight into Bomb's eyes like, "You're shit out of luck, man. I mean, this isn't hurting me. I don't know what you were going for, but it's not happening, kid." Also, it was nice to see, like, we got Yuri and Evan's reaction, and we got the rest of Bomb's team, just their little reaction, like, to him stabbing Joaquin, and they were all so happy, and then Joaquin's just staring into his eyes like, no, I'm fine. You didn't free Vicente. I'm cool, guys, I'm cool. So then, that was just, like, the awesome moment with, okay, he is a strong antagonist, and he is, I think at this point he's reached the point of the most interesting antagonist we've had. He has reached that point. He's reached the point where he's a more interesting antagonist than Daniel in the Revolution Road, or Beta in the Workshop Battle, or Reflejo as well. Reflejo. I say Reflejo because it feels like it should be kind of a Spanish feel to his name. I don't know. But, yeah, better than that. I'd say even better than the original Lopo BRN. Like, Joaquin is our most interesting antagonist to date, and I really like what they're doing with him. He makes a very good enemy where, like, you don't really feel that much for him in the way of saying, oh, he's a bad guy I feel for, which I like, but I think he's reached an even better point where he's a bad guy that you think he's so cool, but you still want him to get taken down. You still, like, cannot stand how well he's doing, and I think that's a very well-written antagonist, and a lot of the characters in Tower of God are very well-written like that. So, of course, as expected, Khun, like, takes the Sweet Fish to the finish line or whatever, and ends round 2, and Joaquin's like, well, guess we'll have to continue this in round 3, and we've already found out FUG had the last sibling, so they already have it planned that he'll be complete before round 3 probably. But I think we're going to have a little break between rounds 2 and 3, and we're going to find out maybe Prince's team escaped or Novik's team showed up and maybe they kidnapped the final one. Something's going to happen so that it's not that easy for Joaquin to get to 100%. I think we still have quite a bit of story left to go in this saga. I count the Heltrain. Heltrain is a saga made up of a few different arcs. So as far as art goes, I could not have asked for anything more. Having this quality of art week after week, and especially getting this much of it this week, is great. I couldn't fault it whatsoever. The amount of plot progression is just astounding, amazing. No one could ask for any more in a series for plot progression. The pacing is just, it's a steamroller without feeling rushed. And it really got me hyped for round 3. Round 3 is going to be amazing. I'm so excited to see what happens. And I'm also really excited to see what we're going to do if we're going to have like a small rest arc between rounds 2 and 3. Sort of like that one little time we had in the workshop battle between when Wangman and, who did he summon? Quaitra, I think? between when Wangnan and Quattro took out the little twin dudes and the next fight. So I think we might have a little few chapter break in there. So in the end, I'm going to give it $10 out of 10. The coin said it for me, and 10 out of 10, that's like, there was nothing more you could get from this chapter. It was great. So much content in 1 week. So, like if you guys liked it, hope you enjoyed. I really, really do. Thank you for all the support so far. Put your comments down there. If you have anything that you want to add, get in the discussion with me. Follow us on Twitter if you want the updates. Subscribe, because I got a lot more Tower of God coming. This is kind of a Tower of God heavy week for me. And I've got more manga and anime, some TV show stuff, some comics. I'll probably do some games at some point. I wish I could do more gaming, but at this point I can't. I need better equipment. I mean, obviously my audio sounds terrible. And I'm not afraid to say that. You guys can hear it. You know. But I promise it will get better. I'm really hoping to get a mic within the next few days, like a real mic, not the crappy laptop mic I'm using. So yeah, guys, sorry to get rambling. Like, subscribe, follow on Twitter, do whatever you want. Love you guys. See you next time.